Watson, yes, ma'am.
So I'm so sorry that Ms. Bush told me, yes, at the end of last week that I was calling Ms. Washington all week, and that's what I thought. And I said, why didn't she come up to me and tell me? So I really apologize, Ms. Watson. I have it correct now. Did you come tell me? Yes. Okay. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Ryan Moore.
Mr. Lamar, you are here in 19 MM 8385. This is on defense motion. Requesting a hearing on competency. Motion to continue the findings of competence and placing the defendant in cash. All right, I did review this yesterday. So, Ms. Henning, I'm gonna let you know this. The motion indicates that Mr. Lamar was evaluated by Dr. Danziger and Dr. Janner. So Dr. Janner has since passed, so that person would not be testifying at the hearing. What is Mr. Lamar currently in jail for?
He's currently in jail for trespass.
Okay. State, what's your position on the motion?
The state would object due to the fact that the evaluation was done on February 13th of 2018. So we will come to the conclusion that the evaluation is stale, given the fact that they're typically done every 6 months.
The only issue, I would agree with you, but Dr. Danziger states it's his opinion after reviewing the information that the incompetency is of a permanent nature. It is my opinion that there is no reasonable probability of competency restoration by any measure.
Yes, Your Honor. There also was a status hearing on August 19th, where Judge Caraballo denied the state's request for a second evaluation.
And the state hasn't filed, is that why we're here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does Mr. Lamar have any other pending cases?
He does have
in circuit
open
court?
cases. No, Your Honor, they're all county court as far as I know. Yeah, I believe they're all misdemeanors.
Ms. Haley, is it your understanding that the last hearing was in August?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna find him incompetent and place him on a conditional release, because then we have to set a status hearing, and I don't think this is the best position to do that. So I'm gonna treat it as a motion for ROR, okay? No, basically, I'm gonna use the exact same order. I'm gonna change the wording on the order with the same conditions as is in the, order for conditional release. I'm gonna verify that information today with Mr. Lamar to make sure that's correct. And then the trial division can decide how they want to handle the issue of the competency. Mr. Lamar, are you still residing at the Coalition?
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah. I
Okay.
was at a boarding home on Paradise Road, Newton Heights. At about a three-quarter house, halfway house. And you said that, coalition.
I
You said I'm still staying on the coalition?
You're staying at the Coalition?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what your answer is?
Yeah,
Okay. And you understand you cannot return to First Presbyterian Church
okay,
on Church Street? You understand?
yeah,
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. You are to maintain contact with your attorney. And those are the conditions of release. Thank you, Mr. Lamar.
Mike?
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Michael Ainsworth.
Thank you. Mr. Ainsworth, you, sir, are here in 19 CF 15308. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle, and possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150.
Okay, so that'd be like, what, like $200 to get out?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody told me it was $3,000, that's why I didn't know.
You'll have to talk to a bondsman about that, sir,
Sure.
okay?
It's been endorsed, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
It has been endorsed, the out on bond by the bondsman. So he's
Okay.
here on the FTA as well.
Mr. Ainsworth, did I see you last week?
Yes, ma'am, I bonded out last week. On failure to appear for my DUI from 2014.
Right.
And I got out, this woman let me use her car, she said I could use it for work.
Okay, wait, Mr. Ainsworth, I don't want you to.
Okay, I'm
to
sorry.
Talk about the facts of your
Just-
case. Okay. So the bondsman's already come off the bond? Okay. I'm not resetting that bond. Let's be set at none. Thank you, sir.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Charlie Henderson, Miss Charlie.
Mr. Henderson, this is 19 MO 1810. You were arrested for urinating in public. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Henderson?
Yes, offer was an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, court costs.
All right. Mr. Henderson, did you want to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
Your Honor.
Sign the plea form, please.
And he'll put it in no contest.
Sure. Mr. Henderson, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
None whatsoever, Your Honor.
Are you on probation?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, I'm not, I'm a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
None, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 3 days' time served. You do have to pay court costs, which will be due by November 5th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank
So I got time served?
Yes, sir?
Oh. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yes, miss, good morning.
Did I see you yesterday?
Yeah, they put me in for trespassing in the parking lot across the street from the salon, right? Just for trespassing, just for walking by, just for walking across the street to go to McDonald's, to go to the 7-Eleven in the parking lot. Just for trespassing, only nothing else.
Mr. Dermio, okay, this is 19 MM 8990. You were arrested for trespassing. Is this? There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Elderly?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer was an adjudication of guilt, 5 days, credit time served, no return to seat and court costs.
Mr. Elderly, do you want to accept the offer?
Yeah, so when I'll be getting out?
3 more days.
All right. So would that be on Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know, sir.
So would that be?
Mr. Elderly, you cannot go back to the parking lot at 109 West Pine Street. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Okay. You need to find a different area to hang out.
yeah, thanks.
Well, we're not done. Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yeah, all right.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No question. No question.
Okay. And you're not on probation?
No probation.
All right. You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I understand, yeah.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's
No
happening in
drugs,
court
alcohol,
today?
no drugs, alcohol.
All right, sir. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You can't return to the parking lot at 106
So,
West Pine.
Can I ask a question? If I got 2 days time, sir, what day will I be leaving then?
Mr.
I
Elder,
know
I
I'm
do not
asking
know.
Huh?
I do not know.
So what day, I got 2 days time, sir, okay. What day is
Get
that?
out on Thursday.
All right.
All right. Mr. Elderly, you have to pay court costs which are due by November 5th of 2020.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, tell me your name, please.
Christian Gonzalez.
All right, how about Miss Ward?
Ms. Ward is going to help.
All right, yeah, we'll present Miss Ward. Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
you are here in case number 19 CF 15381. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for the offenses of conspiracy to traffic in heroin greater than 4 grams, conspiracy to sell or deliver heroin, conspiracy to sell or deliver cocaine, and 2 counts of RICO. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants in this matter. You're not to possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $50,000. Your bond on count 2 is $50,000. Your bond on count 3 will be $25,000. Bond on count 4 and 5 will remain at $5,000. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
My name is Jonathan Pope.
Mr. Pope, you're here in 19 CF 14767. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for first-degree murder. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. J, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
William J. for the State Attorney's Office. It's the state's position that proof is evident, presumption is great, that this defendant is facing a charge punishable by life, and therefore we would request no bond.
Are you relying on the facts that are contained in the probable cause affidavit for arrest?
I'm relying on the 32-page affidavit. I don't know if that's the probable cause affidavit or not since it's sealed.
Okay. Well, we had 2 hearings here last week where I reviewed a 32-page probable cause affidavit.
Yes, I have that again,
Okay.
and so does the Office of the Public Defender.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's the document
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you're relying on again today. Okay. Ms. Haling, did you want to be heard?
No, Your Honor, we'll defer to the court.
Okay. I've reviewed the document prior to today's hearing. I do believe that there is proof evident or presumption great based upon the information that is contained in the affidavit. At this time, Mr. Pope, your bond will remain at none. Your lawyer can file a motion in the trial court regarding bond. You are not to have any contact with your co-defendants. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Anything else?
Just that I'm going to talk to the Major Crimes Public Defender for Division 17, where this will be assigned.
Okay.
There's only one defendant in here. It's imperative that Mr. Pope carefully consider working with us on locating the body. There's already another co-defendant doing that, and it can only be found first once. So I've relayed that to a member of the Public Defender's Office that is present this morning, and I will be discussing that with a person in major crimes later today.
Okay. You heard that, Mr. Pope?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Sure. Sir, good morning. Your name?
How you doing, ma'am? How you doing?
Excuse me?
Good morning, ma'am.
Tell me your name, please.
Richard Alford.
Mr. Alford, this is 19 CF 15379. You were arrested for armed burglary of an occupied dwelling pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Watson, did you want to be heard with respect to bond? It's a punishable by life felony.
Do you mind giving me a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor, the state is gonna argue that there be no bond given the nature of the offense and the defendant's criminal history.
Ms. Watson, are you asking the court to make a finding that there is proof evident or presumption great based upon the information that's contained in the sworn probable cause affidavit for arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Haley, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. May I have just one moment?
Sure.
Thank you. Your Honor, just based on the arrest affidavit, I don't see that there's proof evident presumption great for the armed burglary charge. There was no one identifying Mr. Alford as within the affidavit as the person who who entered into the home. There's only evidence of a pawn, of a pawn exchange. There's no evidence that he was the one who actually entered the dwelling and burglarized the dwelling. With that being said, Your Honor, we're just asking for a reasonable bond here. The state has not met its burden.
I think that the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. At this time, I'm going to set Mr. Alford's bond at none. Mr. Alford, your lawyer can file a motion in the trial court to see if the judge wants to exercise their discretion and set a monetary bond. You're not to have any contact with the victim in this matter. You're not to return to 5666 Stone Ridge Circle. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Jeremiah Blackshear.
Mr. Blackshear, this is 19 CF 15339. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for felony battery. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with Shane Stanley. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond is $2,500, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
Cody Brady Craftman.
Sir, this is 19 CF 15348. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond is $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Norm Buckley.
Mr. Buckley, this is 17 CF 1070. Sir, you failed to appear for a status hearing on January 18th of 2018. Your bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender if they weren't previously appointed, sir.
I have a lawyer.
You do, the public defender, and they can file a bond motion for you in Division 17.
Your Honor, he has a private attorney.
Oh, I thought he said, do I have a lawyer?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
I
Mr.
have a
Buckley.
lawyer.
Okay, so you'll want to get in touch with them as soon as possible so they can get the motion filed for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Christina Elliott.
Ms. Elliott, this is 19 CF 15350. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle.
Fallon?
There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Ms. Elliott, are you living here in the Orlando area?
No, it was actually my daughter's van.
Right, I
And I
understand.
lived with her. I really didn't, I just borrowed it without permission. And I was gonna bring it back.
All right. Ms. Elliott, you understand that if the state of Florida decides to file charges on this matter, you will have to return to Orlando for court.
Yeah,
And failing to do that will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest
Right.
that will not have a bond. Do you understand that?
yes,
Okay. I'm gonna release you, ma'am, on your own recognizance at this time.
thank you.
All right, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. You need to contact them within 24 hours of your release so that they have good contact information for you so you get notice of your next court date.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning. Your name?
David Fallon.
Mr. Fallon, you are here, sir, in 19 CF 15185. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for burglary of an unoccupied structure and criminal mischief over $200 for under $1,000. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. You are not to return to the Hungry Howie's at 205 West Main Street in Apopka, Florida. You also have 19 CF 15343. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for burglary of an unoccupied structure pursuant to a probable cause warrant. You're not to return to the 10th Street Church of Christ in Apopka, Florida. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond is $3,500, sir. The public defender is appointed for both of the cases. I am revoking the bonds in 19 CF 13055 and 19 CF 1302002 and 19 MM 610. All of those will be set at none. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Robert Mozica.
Sir, this is 19 CF 15363. You were arrested for aggravated battery. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with Wayne Hunter. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond is $3,500. Thank you, sir.
Here.
Robert Nielsen, refuse, Your Honor.
Ms. Kelly, I'm gonna give him a chance to come to court tomorrow if he'd like to try to come to court tomorrow.
Okay.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Darrell Patterson.
You, Mr. Patterson, this is 18 CF 18024. You failed to appear, sir, for pretrial conference on July 16th of this year. Your bond is set at none. Do you have a lawyer on this case, sir, or do you want me to appoint the public defender? Oh, he does? Okay.
Your Honor, I just want to make on the record that Mr. Patterson was arrested and he was in custody of Volusia County at the time of this court date that he failed to appear. No, that's really-
Was he brought here from Volusia County?
Yes, ma'am.
Jenny, is that correct? Yes? Pardon me?
They brought him here for a hearing?
He has to go back to Volusia? So they brought him here for a hearing, but for the FTA? Mr. Patterson, you have probation right now? Pardon me? No? All right, so, and it does note it in the clerk's file. So I just looked up the out on bond form for his, resisting without and no valid. He has court on November 21st in front of Judge Caraballo. The clerk's website does indicate that he is in Volusia County Jail. I just don't want him to get another FTA in that case as well. So maybe make a note of that in your file as well, Ms. Haley. All right, I'll just reinstate the bonds. front of Judge Cass? Okay, so they're gonna resolve the case, or they'll figure out what they're gonna do. So they won't take him back to Volusia County until this case is resolved? Okay. Mr. Patterson, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm not gonna modify the KPS, this morning. You're gonna go see, tomorrow, you're gonna go see Judge Kest, who's the trial judge on this matter, tomorrow morning. Okay, and he'll be able to if it needs to have a bond set or you need to be released on it, you'll be able to handle it with him down there tomorrow.
But do I still have a failure to appear?
Technically, you do on the KPS, but that's definitely something that your lawyer can address with Judge Kest tomorrow because he's the judge who issued the KPS. So I would absolutely have my lawyer address that issue tomorrow, okay? Thank you, sir. And I'm not taking any action down the other one. Good morning, your name?
Christopher Pierre.
Mr. Pierre, this is 19 CF 15327. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendant. You are not to return to Ridge Club Apartments. And your bond is $3,500. Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Sabian Prim.
Mr. Prim, this is 19 CF 15359. You were arrested for obtaining property by fraud greater than $20,000 but less than $50,000, grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle, and possession of a counterfeit driver's license. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with Roberto Hernandez. You're not to return to the Jeep Dodge Chrysler dealership. You're not to have any contact with the witnesses. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $150. Thank you, sir.
The last one, Your Honor, was 150.
150.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
John Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, sir, you were here in 10 CF 2519. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause habeas. The state has filed a 3-count information for burglary of a structure, criminal mischief with damage more than $200, and petty theft. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, and I'll stay the bond as to each count, $1,500 and $250. You, sir, also are not to return to Pancho Spanish Deli. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Dale Rosenblum.
Mr. Rosenblum, this is 19 CF 15349. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $1,500.
I request a bond reduction.
So, Mr. Rosenblum, where do you live?
I live over in Lemon Tree Condominiums, Orange County.
Where?
Lemon Tree Condos, Orange County.
How long have you lived there?
Now it's been 9 years. Yeah.
What is the amount of bond that you can afford?
I don't know. It's 1,500. Is that what I have to pay? 1,500, or is it 10% of that?
You have to confirm with the bond, but I believe it is 10% of that.
I mean, it's 10% of. I can afford a bond. It's like $200 bond. A bond is if it's 10% of. I don't know. I don't understand how it works.
So my concern with you, Mr. Rosenblum, and I did reduce it, it was set at 2,500.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Okay,
No, I
I'm
did
sorry.
reduce it, but you have 10 failures to appear. So that's
I
my
understand.
concern.
Oh, okay. I understand.
I don't know how else to get you to come back to court,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
If you're unable to post the 1,500, then you can always have your lawyer file a motion.
Is it 10% of 1,500, or is it 1,500?
Ms. Hanley would know better than I would.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning, your name?
Braden Smart.
Mr. Smart, you are here in 19 CF 15369. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting officer with violence, fraudulent impersonation, possessing 4 or fewer identification cards belonging to another, providing false ID to law enforcement, 3 counts. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. There's probable cause. Bond on count 1 is 2,500. Bond on count 2 is 150. Bond on count 3 is 150. Bond on count 4 is 150. Bond on count 5 is 100. I'm gonna ROR you on count 6 and 7. Thank you, sir.
Is there any way, I have a hold, right?
Yes, sir, you also have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail, and it looks like you have an out-of-state detainer. Do you know, it says, you failed to appear in Harris County, Texas. Jenny, I may have misspoke on count 4. It should be the 100, whatever the subsidiary is. I may have said 150.
Excuse me. And I wasn't like trying to like fight him or anything
Sir,
like that. It's,
listen, I understand, but today is not the day for you to tell the court what happened in the case. That may be your defense, and you'll have to talk to your lawyer about that.
can I at least have somebody like to take a picture of my face and whatnot?
Yes, talk to your lawyer, and they'll be able to have someone come visit you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning, your name?
Robert Stevenson.
Mr. Stevenson, this is 19 CF 15362. You were arrested for use of an anti-shoplifting device, 2 counts, petty theft and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the target at 3770 North Goldenrod Road. Mr. Stevenson, I saw you at first appearance on the out on bond form, and I ROR'd you at that time. I'm revoking that ROR at this time. Thank you, sir. Bond will remain, I'll say the bonds on all the other counts, 1,000, 150, 100, 100. Sir, good morning, your name?
Willie Edward Vance II.
Mr. Vance, this is 19 CF 15351. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. I don't find probable cause as to count one for burglary of a dwelling, but I do find probable cause for a trespass. I don't find probable cause for count 2 possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. You'll be ROR'd on that count. Mr. Vance, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance. At this time, you are not to return to 5250 North Orange Blossom Trail. Mr. Vance, are you paying attention?
I'm just trying to figure out what ROR means.
No problem. So I'm going to release you on your promise to come back to court,
Okay.
along with the other conditions that I'm imposing,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? So you cannot return to
National Bay.
those apartments. Don't go back.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? Okay. And you need to abide by the trespass warning. You also need to get in contact with your lawyer within 24 hours of your release to provide them with the best way to get in contact with you. That way you get notice of your next court date. You don't want to miss court or there will be a warrant issued for your arrest.
I mean, I have a phone number. I mean, I have a working phone that they can get in contact.
Good. Okay, so when you get out, within 24 hours, you need to call your lawyer and let them know what that phone number is and the best way to get in contact with you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Good morning, your name?
Bruce Wool.
Mr. Wolf, this is 19 CF 15342. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for grand theft of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond, sir, is $1,000. You're not to have any contact with Ashley Vega. You're not to return to the scene. That's all. Thank you, sir.
I don't understand what this is about. Okay, so this, I'm gonna get this paperwork? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Good morning, your name?
Crawford Wright.
Mr. Wright, you were here in 19 CF 9026. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias. The state has filed a 2-count information in this matter, charging you with burglary of a conveyance and petty theft with 2 prior convictions. You are not to have any contact with Olivia Brooke. You're not to return to the scene. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Pardon me? That is 19 CF 9026. And then, sir, you also have 19 CF 9801. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause.
That was below, no information, and no information was filed.
9801?
Yes.
Yep, I see that.
I closed it out and I was just.
So it's closed, I don't have to do anything to it? Okay, so Mr. Wright, you just have the one case, 19 CF 9026, which was the burglary of the conveyance and the petty theft. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Your name?
LaShonda Dancy.
You're here at 19 CL 1114. You were arrested for open container.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Miss Dancy?
Yes, Your Honor, say it's offering adjudication of guilt, period of time served before cause.
Miss Dancy, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll just need you to sign the plea form, please. Ma'am, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're
No,
giving
ma'am.
up? Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court
No,
today?
ma'am.
All right, sir, or ma'am, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by November 5th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Jonathan Bellamy.
Mr. Bellamy, this is 19 MM 8973. You were arrested for petty theft, resisting a merchant, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond on count 1 is 100, bond on count 2 is 100, bond on count 3 is 500. You're not to return to the 7-Eleven at 3000 West Colonial Drive, sir.
Done.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Dylan Fleming.
Mr. Fleming, this is 19 MM 8987. You were arrested for disorderly conduct at a public establishment and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. Did you want the public defender's office to represent you this morning?
Could I request an ROR? No, I'd like to represent myself. My girlfriend is terminally ill, and I have to be back there to pay, to take care of bills and such.
Where are you staying?
Bellevue, Florida.
Where?
Bellevue, Florida.
How are you gonna get back to court?
I'll definitely come back to court from her, she has a car.
Mr. Fleming, did you want to resolve your case this morning?
I mean, it would be nice.
All right, sign the plea form. Mr. Fleming, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
No. I mean, did it say am I pleading out? I'm guessing.
Yes, it's
So-
this plea form that's, usually they give it to you in the back.
Oh, yeah, I read that, yeah.
You read it while you were waiting?
Yes.
Okay, did
Thank
you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No,
Are you on probation?
no.
Do you understand that if you're not a US citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You can't go back to the Lynx bus terminal at 455
Okay.
North Garland. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by November 5th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
So am I being released today, you're saying?
You are.
God bless you, thank you.
Have a nice day, Mr. Fleming. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Yvonne Murillo.
Mandy, this is 19MM8989. You were arrested for inhalation or possession of harmful chemicals. There is probable cause. Ms. Murillo, did you want the public defender to represent you this morning?
No, I wanted to represent myself.
Okay. Did you want to enter a plea?
Yeah, I want to declare guilty
Okay.
so that I can be sentenced today.
The state has an offer. The offer would be an adjudication of guilt, period of time served, court cost.
All right. Ms. Murillo, did you hear the offer from the state?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll need you to sign the plea form, please. And as part of that agreement, Ms. Murillo, you're not going to be able to go back to the target at 718 McGuire Road. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so they have formally trespassed you from that property, so if you do return, they'll have you rearrested.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Mhm.
Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand, if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yeah, I am a citizen.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by November 5th of 2020. You can't return to the target, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Torre, bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Eric Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County related to a violation of probation for possession of methamphetamine and possession of marijuana. Your bond is set at none. Seminole County is going to come and pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to Seminole County.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Precious Dent.
Ms. Dent, this is an out-of-county warrant from Hillsborough County related to burglary with an assault or battery therein. Your bond is set at none. Hillsborough County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name.
Severino Costello.
Tell me again.
Severino Costello.
Yes. Thank you. This is 19MM 8744. Defense motion for release on recognizance. State, what's your position on the motion?
The state would first ask if, Mr. Casilla has any, failures to appear.
He has 12 FTAs. The last one was March of 2019.
Given, those circumstances, the state would object, because of the 12 failures to appear.
Could I hear Mr. Castillo's history, please? If you have it and I can see it, that's fine. If you don't have it printed, you could just read it.
19 felonies, 19 misdemeanors, 17 unknowns, and his DOC history is unknown. He has a number, but we can't find it.
When was his last conviction?
Last conviction. It was a petty theft and a resisting officer without violence, March 28th of 2019.
Mr. Castillo, what are you gonna do different than you did in March to make sure that you got to court?
Ma'am, I was in surgery when that happened, and they extended it twice. As soon as I got out and found out there was a warrant, I turned myself in. Man, my husband, we've been together 28 years. He's dying of liver failure. I made a mistake. I made things worse, and I'm here. I really need to be with him. It's not his fault that I made a mistake. He shouldn't die alone.
I understand.
I will make sure I appear. I need to pay everything forward from this point on in my life. It may change some things in my life for my husband if I do the right thing from here on out. I made a very bad mistake this time, and I made things worse for my family. I need to rectify it. I need to make myself clear my own conscience for this. Start living a better life for my kids and for my partner, my husband, and myself, most of all. I've gotten too old for this, and I need to enjoy my life from here on out.
All right, Mr. Cressy, I'm gonna grant your motion. You're not to return to Walmart. You're to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release, and you are to attend all court dates.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Ms. Watson, do you want to let me know when you're ready on the 33-day?
Will you be starting with the add-on?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, state's ready.
All right. Um, 19 CF 13897, Marquez Scott.
A no information notice was filed. The filing ID for that is 983-67042, and it was filed, November 5th, so today.
That'll be granted. Nineteen CF 9776, Jeffrey Coleman.
On November 4th, 2019, a notice of non-filing was filed.
That'll be granted. Nineteen CF 13954, Dustin Donahue.
On November 4th, 2019, a notice of non-filing was filed.
That will be granted. Nineteen CF 13953, Dustin Donahue.
On November 4th, 2019, an information was filed, filing ID 983-51226.
That'll be denied. Afternoon. Are you Mr. Dean? Sir? Mr. Dean, do you want to have your case heard this afternoon? Because I think we could probably resolve your case if you'd like to cooperate.
What do you mean by resolve?
Well, if you want to enter a plea, you'd be released from the jail today. He doesn't have any,
Sure?
he doesn't have any holds, correct? Okay. Yes, I'm positive. So you want to cooperate with me?
What you want to know?
Well, I just have a few questions for you, Mr. Dean. First of all, you're going to have to answer my questions, and you're going to have to sign the plea form.
What's a plea form?
What is it?
Oh, that thing that need a judge, I mean a lawyer?
Pardon me?
Do that mean I have to have a lawyer?
Well, I've already appointed the public defender's office to represent you. I did that yesterday when you refused to come to court. So I thought I'd give you another opportunity to come today and see if we could get your case resolved.
I just want to be released. I ain't do nothing.
Okay, well, sir, you can enter a plea of no contest, which is fine, but you have to cooperate with me and answer my questions in order to get released. It's like 4 questions. And I need you to
4 questions?
I need you to sign the plea form, saying that you're giving up your right to a trial. You're not saying you did do it, you're not saying you didn't do it, but you're giving up your right to a trial. Mr. Dean, are you on probation?
No.
All right. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
What do you mean by I'm not eligible? Say it again.
Are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Dean?
What was the second question?
Were you born here?
Yes.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this afternoon?
I understand what's going on.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the is it 2 days or 3?
It's 3.
3 days. I'm going to sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 3 days time served. You do have to pay court costs. Excuse me, those are due by November 5th of 2020. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
So you plead me guilty?
I adjudicated you guilty, but that doesn't mean that you pled guilty. You pled no contest.
But you plead me guilty, though.
I didn't. But you'll be released today, Mr. Dean. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
A-R-I-K. Antonio, I don't know how to spell it. Alvarez, A-L-V-A-R-E-Z.
Okay. Sir, you're here in 19 CT 8085. You were arrested for DUI. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Sir, you are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And I'm going to have you randomly tested through pretrial release.
All right.
All right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a question? All right. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jonathan Goodwin.
Mr. Goodwin, you're here in 19 MM 8996. You were arrested for trespass in an unoccupied conveyance. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Goodwin?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Goodwin, did you want to resolve your case today?
Yes.
All right, you'll need to sign the plea form, please.
I'll read it again.
Sir, I saw you read the plea form. Did you have any questions about anything on the form?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You are not to have any contact with Cody Stockman. You
What?
will. You're not to have any contact with Cody Stockman. You are to pay court costs which are due by November 5th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
No problem.
There is a Mike Speckle that is Cody Stockman's partner. I would request that he also have no contact with him.
Yeah, that request will be denied. Thank you.
Wait, focused. Yes, sir.
Is there a problem?
No problem.
All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Frederick Carty.
Mr. Carty, you're here in 19 CF 15376. You were arrested for possession of heroin, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $100. You're not to return to 9353 Morton Jones Road, and you're not to have any contact with William Heichel. I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case at this time, sir. You do have arraignment on November 7th at 8 a.m. in Apopka.
All right, so am I out on bond? Do I have a bond or yeah?
You do.
All right.
Good afternoon, your name?
Felix Fedowitz, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in 19 CF 15373. You were arrested for petty theft, criminal mischief, and burglary of a structure. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Halen, you had a probable cause challenge?
Yes, Your Honor. It's as to count 2, the criminal mischief, greater than 200, less than 1,000. Within the 4 corners of the affidavit, there was no cost of damage listed there. And because of that, we would ask for the lesser included, which, by the way, was Florida Statute 806.13, subsection 1B1.
All right. State?
The state would request 24 hours to see if we can get exact totals on the damages.
And we would object to that, Your Honor.
The affidavit lists that there was broken, the place was broken in through a door or window was broken, so there is some damage. By now, maybe the victim has gotten an estimate of the damages, and so we would just request 24 hours so we can be able to reimburse, get a reimbursement for the.
Sure. Okay, I'll grant the state the 24 hours. Bond bond on count one is gonna be $100, bond on count two is going to be $100, and bond on count three will be $3,500. Sir, you are not to return to 855 East Plant Street, and you're not to have any contact with Kelly Height. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, what was the bond on count one?
100.
Thank you.
No, I just gave him. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Shanna Bishop.
Ms. Fisher, you were here in 19 CF 11619. You failed to appear for a status hearing on October 21st of this year. Your bond is currently set at none, ma'am. I will appoint the public defender if they were not previously appointed. I'm also going to email Judge Beamer and let her know you're here so you can get put back on her review docket. I'll also take no action or not revoke your bond on your out on bond case at this time.
They got the wrong address, that's why I ain't on that tomorrow.
All right. Make sure they have the updated address now, ma'am, okay? Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon.
Tell me your name.
My address is front.
Okay, did Montoya bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Got it. All right. And you're Mr. Safrant? Sir? Okay. This is 19 CF 15378. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Hanlon, you had a probable cause challenge?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the affidavit, Mr. Safrant was unaware that the car was a stolen vehicle. That's the first element to the theft charge, that he would knowingly obtain or use a stolen vehicle. And because of that, Your Honor, we're asking for a lesser included of the trespass charge.
Mr. Joe?
Mr. Savant was found driving the vehicle. We don't know enough at this time to say that his statement that he wasn't that he wasn't knowledgeable about it being stolen was good enough. So the state requests that the charges stay as they are.
I don't know that I don't think there's probable cause for the grand theft, third degree of the motor vehicle, based upon the facts that are contained in this affidavit. It doesn't mean that the state can't charge that, but based upon what we have, he's just standing outside of the car. He explains how he was in possession of the car. He does not admit knowledge. He didn't run when he saw the police. So I would find probable cause for trespass. Bond will remain at $1,000.
Your Honor, are you going to address the first appearance detainer?
I'm not gonna revoke that bond.
Okay.
And the bond is remaining the same because he has 4 failures to appear, and his last one was in May.
You guys have a good day.
How about Mr. Street?
Street non-compliance. Behavior.
Got it, okay. So I'm gonna find a waiver of Mr. Street's appearance based upon his behavior and inability to come to court. Ms. Fowler, Ms. Haley, I will appoint the public defender office to represent Mr. Street. I understand you have a probable cause challenge.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's 4 cases, so 15382. All right, and in that case, 19 CF 15382, he was arrested for a burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. In the affidavit, it indicated, that he ran from the original scene into a U-Haul, unoccupied U-Haul. Based on that, Your Honor, and just the affidavit, just the facts altogether, I didn't see probable cause for a burglary, but instead a trespass.
Okay, Mr. Dunn?
No objection, we'll say.
Okay, so I do in fact find that there is probable cause. So the crime can be a resisting without violence. The intent to commit a crime can be a resisting without violence. So the crime was that he was running from the police from the first scene to the second scene and hiding in the U-Haul trailer.
Based on the facts, he ran before the police arrived on the scene.
Says the Maitland's communication advised that an officer observed a burglary suspect flee on foot southbound from 875 South Orlando Avenue, which is the Peacock Ford. They established the perimeter and they tracked him into the U-Haul. And then they found him hiding in the U-Haul trailer. So I do think that there is probable cause, and I think, and I looked at it several times. So there's 4 cases. So there's the Ford dealership, the actual dealership, which would be the burglary of the structure. Then he was in a car at the Ford dealership, so that'd be the second burglary for that property. And then you have the U-Haul property, and then you have the U-Haul trailer.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor. I guess for me, the first affidavit where the burglary at the Ford place, it didn't note 2 burglaries. So the other affidavits were, all the other 3 were regarding the U-Haul. It had nothing to do with the Ford dealership.
So you think 15382 is the U-Haul trailer?
Yes,
Are we
Your
on the
Honor.
same page? Okay.
And 15383 and 15384 are the exact same thing.
Am I missing one? Okay. Yeah, you're right. The last 3 affidavits only have the facts about U-Haul.
Yes.
Okay. So on 19 CF 15380, I find probable cause for all 4 of those offenses. Bond will be $3,500 on count 1, 150 on count 2, 150 on count 3, 100 on count 4. He's not to return to the Peacock Ford dealership. And then I'm gonna find 2 additional probable cause for 2 additional burglaries at the U-Haul location. So I'll do it on 19 CF 15383 and 19 CF 15382. And then in 19 CF 15384, I'll find no probable cause as it's the same set of facts relating to the U-Haul and not to the Ford dealership. Okay. Are we on the same page?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And he's not to return to the U-Haul at 1175 North Orlando Avenue.
Yeah, what was the bond on 15380 counts 1 and 2?
3,500 on count 1, 150 on count 2.
Thank you.
And then, bond on 15382 will be 2,500, and 15383 will be 150. And then he'll be ROR'd on 15384. Thank you, Ms. Lehman. Good afternoon, your name? Ms. Hansel, you are here in 19 CF 15375. You are arrested for possession of fentanyl, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $100. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Leslie Jean.
Mr. Jean, this is 19 CT 1118. You were arrested for DUI. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint, actually, you didn't fill out the affidavit, sir. Were you going to hire a lawyer to help you with this case?
Yes.
Okay. You want to do that as soon as possible? I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Al-Mustafa Derouche.
Sir, you are here in 19 MM 8998. You were arrested for open container. There is probable cause. I'm going to ROR you on that count, or on that case. In 19 MM 8997, you were arrested for trespass on property after warning and petty theft. There's probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir, on all the cases. Sir, you cannot return to the Wawa, do you understand?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a prescription. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance as well in 19 MM 8997. You are going to be given a court date. When you leave the jail, you need to make sure that you return for that court date, otherwise there will be a warrant issued for your arrest, you understand?
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, sir, is my order clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release. I'm not gonna take any action on these out on bond cases. The state just filed a notice of non-filing on the 29th, so the state hasn't filed on these cases yet. All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, or good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Anthony Galloway.
All right, Mr. Galloway, this is 19 MM 8999. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Did you want to resolve your case this afternoon, Mr. Galloway?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll need you to sign the plea form, please. Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 1 day time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are due by November 5th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Howard Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, this is 19 MM 8992. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Did you want to resolve your case this afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll need you to sign the plea form, please. Are you on probation, Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
You are?
No, no.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, it's my understanding that you're on parole out of state?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know how entering this plea would affect that status for you, so maybe that's something you wouldn't want to do today.
I wouldn't want to do it today.
I don't know. I'm just telling you that you're on parole, so I don't know what a plea to a new law violation would do to your parole status. So that might be something you would want to talk to a lawyer about.
Your Honor,
Okay.
may I have a moment?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. He's going to withdraw the plea.
Okay. No, Mr. Johnson, your bond's gonna be $500.
And just for clarification, does Alabama, are they extraditing him? Okay.
All right.
How long do they have you on?
So you'll have to resolve, so he'll still have to resolve this case first. Okay, so here's what I'll probably work out, Mr. Johnson. I don't know how it would affect you today, but since Alabama's gonna come pick you up anyway, not resolving your case today will allow you an opportunity to have the lawyer come out, sit down with you and review everything so that you know what the potential legal consequences are before you resolve the case. Okay? All right, thank you, sir. Right, so even if he resolved the case, he can't leave. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
My name is Stephen Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in 19 MM 8994. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
William Brumfield.
Mr. Brumfield, you have two cases this afternoon. I will appoint the public defender to represent you on both of the cases. Is that an updated face sheet? Ms. Haling, you had a probable cause challenge in 19 CF 15370.
Yes, Your Honor. Just based on the affidavit, there was drugs found allegedly, but nothing was field tested. We have no idea if it's true and correct form is cannabis or meth, or synthetic cannabinoids. Is that right?
Your Honor, Madison Roberts, who lived in the apartment with the defendant, spoke to the detectives and said that the defendant sells cannabis. I believe that, along with the officers' training, and led them to be able to identify both the cannabis found, and if probable cause isn't found by Your Honor, the state would request 24 hours to get some testing done on the drugs.
Yeah, I don't find there to be probable cause based upon the facts that are contained in the affidavit. I don't know how you could recognize something to be 6,000 grams without weighing that. He doesn't describe what his training and experience is. It's not tested. I don't know how you would also notice what 4 pounds is. He doesn't explain what the training and experience is. So I'll grant the state the 24 hours. I'll stay the bonds. But yeah, there's no probable cause for any of the offenses as stated in this affidavit.
Your Honor, I know you've granted the 24 hours, but I just wanted to, on the record, just state that once a probable cause determination has been made, that the defendant should be released on those charges based on the Florida statute.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I mean, what I'm saying is, based on the information I have,
Right.
there wouldn't be, but the state, that's what the whole point of the 24 hours is. The state has 24 hours in which to establish the probable cause. So if they come back tomorrow and they haven't established any additional facts, then you're right, he would be released.
Right, yeah, and I guess we're just going, our interpretation of the 24 hours is based on the defense making a motion on a time period being lapsed, not necessarily on the probable cause determination. The statute states that the probable cause determination should be made where the proof is available, and the proof as stated in the statute is the sworn affidavit or complaint or testimony. By statute, I can get the statute for you, but that's my position. I understand the court's position.
Okay, so still granting the state their 24 hours in which to establish the probable cause. Bonds will remain the same. He also has a violation of probation where it is alleged that he has moved without getting his permission and that his whereabouts were unknown in 19 CF 5170. Bond in that matter is set at none. It will remain at none. So you will see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days on the violation of probation. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Board.
Sir, you have two cases this afternoon. You have 19 CF 1405. You violated your probation allegedly by committing a new law offense of driving while license revoked or suspended on October 20th of this year in Orange County, Florida. Your bond is set at none, sir, in that matter. And then in 19 CT 2517, it's alleged that you violated your probation by committing the new law offense of driving while license suspended. Your bond in that matter is set at $1,500. On the felony matter, you will see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days. And then on the traffic matter, do you want to enter a denial, Ms. Haling, and we'll give him a status date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So this would be, yeah, division 82 would be Judge Duckworth. So the VOP status date is gonna be December 2nd at 8:30 a.m., courtroom 10B, that's in front of Judge Duckworth. Okay, that's on the traffic case, and then the other case, you'll see Judge Whitehead. Right? Anything else? Then we'll be in recess.